from LPI Studios in Memphis, Tennessee. It's R&R on Sports with Uncle Howard Robertson.
What does it have to do with Kobe deciding to retire and making this the farewell tour?
Jennifer Conroy.
As an elite player, as top of the draft, to go to a team that just straight up sucks.
And the magnificent Larry Robinson.
I think the Cavs will win the championship.
It's R&R on Sports.
Let me see those hands again. Hang on now. Everybody jump, jump.
We're back. Hello, and welcome to a little R&R on Sports. I'm Uncle Howard.
And I'm Jennifer Conroy.
And I am the fantastic Larry Robinson in the house. America, what's up?
You cut it short, didn't you?
I cut it short, baby. Let's get straight to the point.
Yes, and speaking of being straight to the point, we are straight to the point and happy to be back.
Yes.
From our little hiatus for a while.
Vacation is over?
Yes, over. Back to school.
Man.
Back to school. I got to come back and take y'all to school.
But I miss you guys.
Take my cheering to school.
You gonna be the bus driver?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
I'm gonna flip my pillow over to the cool side.
The cool side of the pillow.
Yeah.
What's happening?
How y'all doing?
Hey, man, I'm wonderful, man. I am really glad to see you guys.
How was the summer?
Shoot, hot?
Very hot. Summertime.
It's been crazy hot.
But all I got was messages and text messages and photos and whatnot
From
JC.
JC, really?
I came back a higher
around
yellow.
the pool.
Around the pool?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes. I got
Around the
these,
pool, in the pool.
Did you get the bikini?
By the side of the
Nah,
pool?
man. I
didn't
blocked
get
her.
the
I
bikini
blocked her
pictures?
during the summer vacation.
You blocked her?
Yeah, I blocked her,
She was
man.
stalking you?
Yeah. I just couldn't deal with it, man, because, you know, Jen goes a little close to the line sometimes.
I'm trying to get a record deal.
But you look good, girl.
It
You
says
look
I am good.
You had a little tan. Look at you.
I'm a higher yellow.
Look at you.
You a higher yellow.
Higher yellow, yeah.
We had a lot that went on this summer.
Man,
A
so
whole
much
lot.
that went on.
I got two words.
What?
Russell Westbrook.
Oh, okay. All right, he got paid. It is now it was Christmas in July for Russell.
I think somebody's going to be sleeping with the fishes.
Santa showed up and was mighty good to him.
Oh,
he?
man.
He's got a team now.
He makes $26.5 million this year. I mean, next year he makes close to $30 million. It was Christmas throughout the whole free agency of the NBA.
Oh, yeah.
You know, you had
yeah.
C.J. McCollum
Yeah,
with a $106 million contract.
This is like the 17th time you've mentioned that.
I mean, I just can't believe it. I'm like, you got Timofey Mozgov that got 63. When the last time Timofey Mozgov did
They got paid. But they are not the highest paid player in the NBA.
No.
That person would be whom?
Mike Conley of the Memphis Grizzlies at $153 million over 5.
Who knew? Won't he do it?
Won't he do it? And we all thought what was his name? Greg Oden. We thought Greg Oden was going to be
Was
the
a
big
bust.
time.
What is he doing, as a matter of fact?
Last
now?
thing I saw him was beating up his girlfriend or something.
He beat up his girlfriend. He texted a picture, an inappropriate picture to somebody. What is the
Why
matter?
did I
That
do
boy
that?
never got right. He like the boy in the movie.
What's
Can't
my
get
man?
right.
What's my man's name that plays for the Warriors? Played for Michigan State.
Donkey.
What'd you say?
He called him
mean-
Shrek.
Yeah. Draymond Green. Yeah.
You know, Draymond Green must have went to the Greg Oden school
Oh,
of
my goodness. Oh, he was all that in a bag of chips back in the day, but
bad knees, man. Bad knees.
man, but we have so very much to talk about. We've got a fantastic ICONversation today with Coach Tubby Smith,
Yes.
legendary Coach Tubby Smith, and all kind of great stuff.
Well, listen, guys.
We're back. We're great. Glad to be back.
Make sure you
Lots to
rate
talk about.
and subscribe our show, our podcast. Go to your podcast subscriber. Listen, you can get us anytime you want. You don't have, if you missing the part of the show.
Tens and hundreds of thousands of you are doing it.
Yeah, I'm
And we
surprised
thank
by
you.
that. We
And
just
we
got our
thank you.
latest numbers.
That's right. That's right.
And we killing it right now.
right
We
now.
always killing it.
Let's keep killing it. Let's keep killing it. And we're going to kill you with some laughter, with some LMAO right now. And we'll be back right after this.
I got an announcement.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of Mr. Jordan and Mr. Tiger Woods, I am the Reverend Dr. Bishop Mann. That's M-A-N-N, Ph.D. And I will be answering questions after the following statement. After much soul searching and a great deal of deliberation, collaboration, inspiration, motivation, and excessive perspiration, Mr. Jordan and Mr. Woods reluctantly announced that they are both black or African American, whichever you prefer.
Oh, Cherry Jubilee with CNN. Are you sure? How do they know?
Well, they both found out in different ways. Last Thursday evening, Mr. Jordan was detained by state troopers while driving a 2017 Bentley wearing a Brioni suit with a 12-carat pinky ring on his finger and wearing a pair of Jordans that haven't even been released to the public yet. Officers said it was too dark to see who he was, despite him saying, "I'm Michael Jordan." But one officer said, "Yeah, right, but you should have been Larry Bird." It's all right, Michael. It's all right.
Chapstick with ESPN. How do you know, Tiger?
I told you I was answering all the questions. Now, regarding Mr. Woods, he was at the Tre Primo Blanco Golf Club playing a leisurely round of golf with some friends when the golf course marshal and local police roared up in golf carts, slammed him on the 13th green. They had been observing him hit a drive into the wrong fairway on number 5, shanking the spot on number 4, and 4 golf balls in the water on the island green on number 11. And they said he was playing very blackish, which is against club rules, so they arrested him and took him to jail. It's all right, Tiger. It's all right, Tiger. It's all right. Now, Mr. Jordan has already had all those policemen evicted and their cars repossessed. The apartments are being remodeled. Their apartments are being remodeled into luxury apartments for his girlfriends. And Mr. Woods has brought the Blanco Golf Club, evicted the former owners, and it will become the Big Willie DFW, Down for Whatever, Country Club, which will host the upcoming Tupac and Biggie Forever Golf, Dominoes, and Spades invitation next year.
Tiger, is it true that you're engaged to Miss Shanika Johnson?
I told you I'm answering the questions. I'll come out there and slap the taste out
That's
your
my
mouth.
man. That is my man.
Don't have me
Tiger,
having to do it.
Tiger.
This is MJ, and when I'm not in Chicago hanging out with Scotty and the rest of these guys, I'm always listening to R&R on Sports.
Now the party didn't start till I walked in, and I probably won't leave until the thing ends. But in the meantime and in between time, if you work your thing, then I work mine. We came here together so we can have fun.
Don't you love him? Don't you love him?
Black
Don't
Lives
you
Matter.
Love him? Don't you love him?
I want to be like
Don't
Mike.
you love him? We love LMAOs. But we have been away, and all kinds of things have transpired. A-Rod retired.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
He retired.
Yeah, man. You know, it's interesting to me.
And
that,
got a little full. I mean, he got emotional.
Yeah.
It was real cute.
Yeah, well, you know, he was upset, though, because they said he was going to get to play the last 4 games, and they didn't let him play.
That's like taking recess away. But they gave him a job.
Wait a minute,
Oh,
wait.
yeah,
I got
a job.
I got a trivia question for you guys. How much money has A-Rod been over the length of his career been paid per game, per baseball game?
Suspension included?
No, suspension not included.
100,000.
100,000 per game. JC, what you got? Come on, man. Come on.
$250.
Huh?
$250.
$250? No. $200,000 a game. $200,000 a game. Now, is he worth that? Has A-Rod been worth, in retrospect, has he been worth $200,000 per baseball game?
His performance-enhancing drugs think so, yes.
Okay. How?
Well, I keep telling you, this is subjectively, probably. Objectively, no.
Objectively, no. Well, subjectively, because of what? And
I mean,
give me
it
the
depends on who
objective
you're
perspective.
talking to and how you feel about him.
Okay, is that where does that come from? Well, I look at it because of how much attention he's drawn. I think so, because the teams have made a tremendous amount of money off of.
Oh, absolutely.
And the Major League Baseball has made a tremendous amount of money. And those baseball and those contracts were built on what was to come. So he was supposed to break Babe Ruth's record as far as his home run totals, the single of Ted Williams, hitting totals of Ted Williams. A lot of things were supposed to happen that would have been television events, especially for the Yes Network, which would have given them an opportunity to really build that up. So they sold that information. They sold the back behind the home plate and all that stuff and advertising. So, I think it was probably he was worth it and probably deserved a little bit more.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All that to get to that.
Oh, absolutely.
And
I mean,
Tim
I think it's sort of like with LeBron James. I don't think you can pay LeBron James enough. If C.J. McCollum makes $100 million, if Mike Conley can make $150 million, and if Russell Westbrook can make $26 million a season or $27 million on up, what is LeBron James worth?
I think it's going to be. I think what has just happened in the NBA relative to salaries, I think it has thrown everything so out of kilter and whatnot, and I think they're going to pay for that in other ways at some point in the future.
Well, you got to look at it. Why you think they're selling patches on jerseys? And you have the Golden State Warriors.
It's
a money grab. It's a money grab. When you pay a guy
$1
billion, you give a guy $1 billion contract for wearing sneakers, the money has got to be astronomical.
Absolutely.
And you talk about what Steph Curry is going to make. As long as he quit making these ugly shoes.
Oh, man.
As long as he quit making these Air Dad shoes.
Dads need shoes, too.
Speaking of basketball.
White dads need shoes, too.
You've been watching the NBA players in the Olympics?
Absolutely.
At the Olympics? They've been having a big time.
Well, man, I'm impressed with
Somebody said
Carmelo.
this is the tightest team they've ever been on. I think
you can tell. You can tell.
I don't know
there looks like a lot of camaraderie.
Durant said that.
Let me say this.
Durant
I'm going to say it now. I'm going to say it right now. Mark my word. MVP of the season, the NBA, Kyrie Anthony. Kyrie Irving. Kyrie
This is
Irving.
a new guy, Kyrie Anthony.
Kyrie Irving. I was thinking about Carmelo and how well he's playing, and the fact that they keep saying
he's going to be the MVP.
I think Kyrie Irving is going to be MVP this year.
I think Kyrie Irving is going to quit and join a boy band, given the way he sings 1,000 Miles.
Oh, wow. Did
you see that? He knows all those words.
Now,
well, he's a singer, though. He's actually a singer.
Okay,
he actually sung backup for me for a while.
Oh, Lord. Speaking of the Olympics, I am loving
Absolutely.
women's gymnastics. I am loving this team.
The Final
I
Five.
think this is the best team of all times. It's clearly the most diverse team of all times. I think these young ladies have so much confidence and skill and ability and talent.
So I got a question.
Yes.
What do you get when 2 black girls, a Jew, a Hispanic, and a white girl walk into the room?
The U.S. women's gymnastic team.
Yeah.
That was easy.
I like it. I'm just saying.
I think they represent America extremely well.
Agreed.
And I say the U.S. swim team actually represents the Southeast America parts of America, because I think they've been bitten by mosquitoes like the big
Well, their pool is green.
The mosquito bites those are the
Are you talking about the guys that are actually in the water?
Yeah, they look like they got the Zika virus.
I'm pretty sure they do.
Let me ask you
the big round circles on them. And
let me ask you this: before we left.
Oh, that's from cupping.
We were talking about.
That don't sound.
We were talking about the Olympics being in Rio. How do you guys think Rio is hosting and handling the Olympics? I mean, they got all. Here's one thing I'll point out: they got tremendous glam shots. I mean, it is a beautiful place.
Oh, but Rio is a beautiful place. Period.
Rio is a gorgeous place, and they are definitely
but the Olympic diving pool is green.
Those. Huh?
The Olympic diving pool is green.
And
people getting sick. They getting getting sick down there. I mean, they're not talking about these things, but man, people are getting ill with the water and things like that. Man, I am not. I would have stayed away from the.
Well, you got
Rio
DeAndre
Olympics.
Jordan in a brothel.
In a brothel?
Yes. It doesn't actually get much better than that, I don't think, but I would have liked to have been a fly on that wall.
But let me ask you,
They thought it was a spa.
But what do you all think about these guys with these big circles from the recovery program that they're using?
It's negative pressure applied to the muscle to allow blood flow to come through.
Well,
I think it's like a badge of honor. I think it's like a badge of honor.
It's like a poster child for Zika.
It's like I'm
it
using
looks like
this.
a hickey.
I'm using this. It does. A bunch of them.
Yeah.
A bunch of big ones.
You got a sucker fish on you.
I think they're using it as a badge of honor, and it's like I'm into this new stuff.
It's ancient it's ancient Chinese medicine.
So I mean, if it helps you, it helps you. Fine. It blows your skirt up.
I like Phelps' face.
Michael Phelps is the truth, man. He is the absolute truth, and he's playing head games with these guys because if you think about it, in the qualifying heats, he almost never wins. He comes in second and all that.
Yeah.
So then he turns it up.
Yeah.
In the finals and blows everybody out, man. Him and Ryan Lochte?
Yeah.
Lochte.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, they are doing the daggone thing, representing the USA extremely well.
Michael Phelps is so good that Kevin Durant showed up to a swimming event.
Oh yeah, they're taking selfies. They were big. But anyway,
you got Klay Thompson in the back.
I got it set on lock, and I'm going to keep watching, and
Simone Biles.
We'll keep talking about Simone Biles is the greatest. And what I love is the confidence.
Man.
What I love is the confidence, and I've said this. She's 4'8". If she could palm a basketball, I guarantee you she could dunk it.
Oh, I know she could.
She's amazing.
She is amazing. And we think we're amazing, too. But we
are amazing. So subscribe and rate.
Subscribe and rate. Go to our show on your podcast provider and subscribe and rate.
Back on the other side of this with a fantastic coach, Coach Tubby Smith.
Rolling down the street with my radio on, listen to Funky Politics.
The mayor of the city of Memphis, Mayor Jim Strickland. How are you, sir?
Fantastic. Thanks for having me.
Laid back with my mind on my money and my money on my mind.
Dr. Sharon Griffith. Hey, Doc, how are you?
Good afternoon.
What you say, Grandpa?
Did he call me Grandpa?
We keep it real, we keep it right, and we keep it funky.
Funky Politics, part of the Katsukian Network.
Hi, this is Tweeka Catchings, and you're listening to R&R on Sports.
Hey, yo, Doug. What? Put your ballies on.
Yo, Rick, I was about to, but I need the shoe home.
Why?
Because the shoes always hurt my cone.
6 minutes, 6 minutes, 6 minutes to get French your own.
And we're back with ICONversation, and as you know, we have the pleasure of talking to some of the best and brightest in sports all over the place, and today is no different. We are happy to have with us the current head coach of the University of Memphis Tigers and basketball legend, none other than Coach Tubby Smith. Coach, welcome to R&R on Sports.
Thank you. I'm wondering which one am I? Am I best, brightest? I'm not
all
sure.
of that.
Oh, man, you all of that and then some, Coach. You know.
I wish you would tell my wife that.
We'll do it.
We'll call her.
We'll do it. We will do it. We appreciate you being with us. We are thrilled that you are with the Tigers. As everybody knows, we are based out of Memphis, Tennessee, so we're particularly thrilled to have you here. And I want to ask you, start by
hold on.
this.
Let me just throw something in real quick. You know. Wait a minute. We know Pookie, we know Ray, and we know JoJo. How in the world did you get Tubby? Where did Tubby come from?
Ray, and Pookie, and
So we're not associated with them.
When you're from a family of 17, your parents probably had a bunch of nicknames.
Yeah, like hey you.
Hey boy.
There you go.
But no, I had a fondness. Now, this is my mom. You know, when I got to be I can't say a celebrity, but then I went to Kentucky. So Kentucky folks wanted to come down and interview my mom and dad down in the farm in Southern Maryland. And I said, Mom, now listen. this is the story when they come down. don't be telling them I was a little fat kid. Tell them I had a fondness for the tub. No, I'm just kidding. I did have what it was, we'd have indoor plumbing until I was like 15 years old. So we bathed on Saturday night. You just watch the vital parts.
Right.
Monday, what I mean? And on Saturday nights when you boil the water and everybody had their turn in the galvanized tub.
That number 10 tub?
Mm-hmm. That number 10 tub. So when it was my turn, the water was so dirty, I could hide under it. But I never wanted to get out. When it was my turn, they would say, "Tell me, will you get out of there?" But I'm a little heavy too. So that's the story.
Now you got to share. You got to share with everybody the given name that your mom and dad gave you.
Orlando.
Orlando.
Well, I don't know where that came from. Because of that.
He looks like an Orlando to me.
That's fantastic. That is.
Well, you know what happened? My mom had, she had Odell, O'Day, and Orlando. Then she probably went, "Oh no!"
Or "Oh dear."
Oh dear. We got "Oh dear."
Oh dear, come here.
So you got a sister named Oh dear.
But that's all right. The world knows you as Tubby. The world knows you as Tubby Smith. Now, you share a distinction with Roy Williams, Nolan Richardson, Denny Crum, and Jim Boeheim as for winning 365 games in 15 seasons or less. I lead into that asking you to share with us just some of the highlights of your very illustrious career.
Oh, they're too numerous to list, to be honest with you. I've been so blessed and so fortunate. I guess the best thing about it is that the young men, I have about 24, 25 of my former players that are coaching now and teaching and in ministry and lawyers. So that's what it's about. All those, the fame that you get from, and I never really made a basket. I haven't made a jump shot that was of any significance since 1973 when I was at High Point College. So it's leading these young men to achieve their dreams and their goals of getting an education, being able to provide for their families. But there are obviously the highlights of that to be, winning a national championship, being a part with the Olympics going on now. I was part of the Olympic experience when we won the gold medal. I was assistant coach in 2000 in Australia. That was a great experience. Anytime you can give back and serve your country. I can tell people that are watching the Olympics today, there's no greater, experience than representing your country. And there's a lot of pressure because when you see these kids performing, these young people performing, they are making a huge sacrifice, and they are committed because, trust me, there are a lot of people pulling against the USA Olympic team. So those are some of the highlights of my life and the birth of my 4 kids.
I can imagine. Absolutely. Listen, this is R&R on Sports, and we're speaking with future Hall of Famer, Coach Tubby Smith of the University of Memphis Tigers. Coach, what is it that you look for in a player? I mean, you have thousands of high school players out there that are looking for D1 scholarships. What's a Tubby Smith player look like?
Obviously, we're recruiting him. He's talented enough to play at this level, at the Division I major college level, at the toughest level of basketball outside of professional basketball.
Right.
And maybe the NBDL or something like that. And it's not pro, but you tell them amateur, this is the highest you can go, is college basketball. So, and you first know that he's talented. Next thing you look at is what are his goals? What are his dreams? Are they in line with what you want for your son or for your daughter?
Does he have to aspire to be a pro basketball player? Is that part of the things when you talk about?
No, they all want to do that.
Oh, okay.
They all. That's a gift. I mean, seriously. And so now you have to help them understand what it takes, and if it's possible. I mean, there's going to be, let's say I've coached about 19 guys that played the pros, but that's after 44 years of coaching.
Wow.
So it's not a lot of people making it to that next level. So they have to understand that you have to be prepared to work as a regular job, 9 to 5, and for most of us, it's going to be from 7 to as long as you have to do to get the job. So
Right.
job done. So we have to teach them about. You have to help them get an education, not just a degree, but an education. That's something my dad said. He said, "Son, don't worry about a degree. If you get an education." And he's a guy that had like a 9th grade education. My mom had an 8th grade. But they both were prolific readers, taught us about getting an education. My dad got his GED after he got out of the military and was wounded in 1943. He was a Buffalo soldier. But those are the things, those are people that mentored and motivated me. So I try to do that with our players. I try to instill in them that you're here to get a degree, son. You're here to get an education. So let's figure out how you do that. Everything here, every opportunity you have to learn how to talk, how to act, how to dress, how to read, how to write, to the level that's going to help you be the most successful person you can be.
Given
that, what it takes.
Coach Smith, given that education is so important, how has one and done impacted the college game? And do you talk to your players about the importance of all 4 years?
I had that conversation earlier this morning about one and done. I was dead set against it, but I'd love to have a one and done. But trust me, I want to win. I want to have the best players, and I think that. But it was a bad rule in that you shouldn't force someone. Let them go get their job after high school. Many people work after high school. You understand? They don't go in. A lot of people don't go into college. So if he's good enough to go play professionally and make a comfortable living, like Kobe Bryant, like LeBron James, like Kevin Garnett, let him. Don't force him. Don't force him to have to come to college. The game of basketball is not going to fail or succeed because one or two people didn't come to college. And, college basketball is still growing, and it's at an all-time high as far as viewership. I mean, now attendance is down in because people are watching it on TV a lot, but as far as the popularity of basketball, it hasn't hurt because one and done. You see what I mean? And only two players are in that position. And there may be some that are. I mean, we had Dedrick Lawson was a young man that tested the waters. His dad is one of our assistant coaches. He went out. He recognized that, hey, you know what? I'm not ready. Smart decision. He's got an education. He had good judgment, so he made the right decision. So we hope we can keep him growing, and so when the opportunity presents itself, he'll be ready. But as far as one and done, I never thought that they affected. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
College basketball.
Now, Coach.
But it works great with pros. It's great for the NBA because now they get 1 year to watch him again.
Definitely. You're listening to R&R on Sports, ICONversation with Coach Tubby Smith.
Blues in the Basement, Stephanie.
Woo, I want them to do something good for me, baby.
And T-Shaw.
Let's get funky with Albert King right here on Blues in the Basement. Yeah.
Live interviews from some of the biggest blues artists in the country.
Bobby Rush.
Wonderful. May God bless you all.
God bless you too. Thank you.
All right.
People keep asking me to sing about a good man.
Blues in the Basement. Stay up to date with the biggest blues festivals in the world. Blues in the Basement. Now podcasting and available on iTunes. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and IG. And download the Blues in the Basement app.
I mean, this music just makes for a good time. All I need is a beer and some babacoo. I'm Stephanie.
I'm T-Shaw.
Blues in the Basement. In the Basement. In the Basement. In the Basement. In the Basement.
Rolling down the street with my radio on, listen to Funky Politics.
The mayor of the city of Memphis, Mayor Jim Strickland. How are you, sir?
Fantastic. Thanks for having me.
Laid back with my mind on my money and my money on my mind.
Dr. Sharon Griffith. Hey, Doc, how are you?
Good afternoon.
What you say, Grandpa?
Did he call me Grandpa?
We keep it real, we keep it right, and we keep it funky.
Funky Politics, part of the Katsukian Network.
Hello, everybody. This is Tim Brown, 2015 NFL Hall of Fame inductee, and you are listening to R&R on Sports.
I'm your idol, the highest title, numero uno. I'm not a Puerto Rican, but I'm speaking so that you know. And understand I got the gift of speech, and it's a blessing. So listen to the lesson I preach. I talk sense condensed into the form of a poem, full of knowledge from my toes to the
You're listening to R&R on Sports, ICONversation with Coach Tubby Smith. Now, Coach, you mentioned that they come to you, they come in with the mindset of going to the NBA. Tell us or share with us how you prevail upon them that they are not abject failures if they don't make it in the NBA, and that
Well, that's why you educate them about right and wrong, about work ethic, about social, being a social, getting to know other people, having mentors like Larry is to Markel Crawford. So you have to expose them to people that are successful and were not. They were pros in their area. They're pro doctor. They're pro professional. They're pro radio announcer. They're pros in
right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
This is R&R on Sports, and we're speaking with legendary coach Tubby Smith. Coach Smith, when you look at University of Memphis, as you're talking about all the things you want to do, and I know that national championship is the ultimate goal. How do you determine success in your first year of entering a new program?
That's a good question. I don't know that it's all, how can I say, just like us measuring how a kid improves his shooting, his vertical jump, his free throw shooting, you have to have benchmarks. You have to have measuring. You have a quota on your radio show. You have something you have to reach. So we have certain goals. The team will have their goals, individual goals, and if we can come close, if we can reach those goals, then we will have been successful. If a kid improves in his free throw shooting or his 3-point shooting, that's going to help the team. And that's how I work with them. I mean, with them one-on-one, we talk about the individual goals, but we also talk about the team goals. To always keep those in mind. And then so I've never predicted what we would be, and so my whole thing is when you see our team compete, and when you leave FedEx Forum, you're going to say, boy, that team gave it everything they had, win or lose. And that's success. That's how I equate success. Always have, always will.
Coach Smith, you've been you've been coaching for 44 years, and so you've seen a lot of guys come into programs and a lot of guys go on to succeed in other things. And the politics of basketball, do you think that we're moving towards paying college athletes? And should we? Or should we not?
Well, I had a talk the other day with one of the service group. I think it was a Kiwanis group, and now it was a Rotarian group here in the area. And I think that question was asked, and it's been asked a number of times. Right now players are getting the cost of attendance. For the University of Memphis, that's $5,000 plus a year. On top of if you qualify for the Pell Grant, which is over $5,000. So a kid has potential to pocket $10,000. Do you hear me saying? That hasn't hit a lick yet, hasn't worked a day. But so now I tell them about that. So you want to be paid? You want to be treated based on your production. That's what you're going to be paid on. Just like me, they paid me to come in to coach. Win games, you don't, you get fired, or you get. So, son, are you going to be fired? Okay, so you come in here now, middle of the season, I don't like the way you play. You haven't lived up to standards, fellas. You're fired.
Wow.
Ooh.
Wow.
I like that. I like that.
It's about being paid. You got to understand, you're going to earn every penny. Just like you and I have on our jobs. Your mom and dad go to they earn every penny.
Yeah, that's real world.
It's a real world. So, pay us.
But I think that attitude is necessary, especially for the Tigers program, which honestly has been lacking in some discipline for a while. I think it's amazing that you're walking in with that attitude and you're going to be able to teach these guys life, because that's just as much a part of it as basketball.
It's just, that is it. I mean, basketball is not about, it's It's not a vocation. I mean, your vocation is what you do, the work you do, and you've worked all your life to try to become. And basketball doesn't last very long. You know, the average span of a lifespan of a pro basketball player is probably 5 years. People don't realize Michael Jordan only played 13 years.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Kobe Bryant he's the unusual. He's the exception to the rule. So is a Tim Duncan. They're exceptions when you play 18, 19, 20 years.
Right.
That's unheard of. So what I'm saying is you better take care of what you have, and you read about it all the time about an athlete that didn't know how to handle his money, didn't invest properly, didn't surround himself with the right people. That's what judgment and education is all about, making better decisions.
Right.
And so that's what I advocate as a coach, and that's what we teach.
I love that.
You're listening to R&R on Sports, ICONversation with Coach Tubby Smith. Coach, you talked about the NBA. Talk about a little bit about some of the players that you coached formerly that are yet in the NBA.
Rajon Rondo.
Rajon Rondo is one. He's a very talented player, and we had a great run with him. I think the last game we won 28 games. We were together. We went to Elite Eight.
Mm-hmm.
Lost to Michigan State. We went on to win a national championship. And we had another Tayshaun Prince who's still in the league.
Tayshaun Prince.
And we've had a number of players that have played. Najee Muhammad, Jamal McGlure, Scott Paget. These are kids that we've had over the years. Some I didn't finish with them, but we started with them. I've been very blessed, and we try to stay in touch with as many of them as we can over the years. But I'm more impressed with the young man that's here, like the young man that's visiting me today from New York. He was my first recruit at Tulsa. He's in town, Mark Morris. He coaches at a high school. He's coached at Globe College in New York. But he's come in, coach, just want to visit with you on his way to Atlanta. So that's what I'm proud of. He has his degree. He's got a beautiful family.
Right.
That's what it's about.
So do you have a team? Who's your team?
A team?
Yeah.
As far as, I have the Tigers.
Oh, well, of course, the Tigers are your team. That was a very good answer.
Now.
I'm talking about if you're going to sport gear from an NBA team, whose team is it?
I don't, I'm very impressed with the San Antonio Spurs, having lived there, knowing Greg Popovich and how his teams play, that unselfish play. I've always been impressed with the way they've done things. But growing up in Maryland, I was a Baltimore Bullets fan back when they were Bullets and they became the Wizards. And so usually you root for your home team.
Now, did you make a conscious decision at some point that college basketball was going to be your future and you were going to just take it on in with that versus going to the pros?
In the ninth grade.
Oh, in the ninth grade.
But you said going to the pros. I see you going where you lead. I'm sorry, I cut you off.
No problem.
I knew in the ninth grade I was going to be a teacher and a coach.
Okay.
And my ninth grade teacher asked my dad if I could come out for the team, and never forget, he came to the school bus. My dad was a school bus driver. He said, Mr. Smith, you ought to let that boy play.
Oh.
Pretty good athlete. Yeah, he's a pretty good athlete. My dad said, well, he's got chores to do.
I like
he
your
got
dad.
work to do.
Hey, well, can you get him home? That's sort of, being a good coach. You see, I'll get him home, but he never did. But that's okay. I got home anyway. I'm glad he got me. And we still stay in touch. Cecil Short, I still talk to him.
That's outstanding.
But I thought that that was my calling to coach college basketball. I've had about 5 opportunities to coach in the NBA. I've turned down 6, I think.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
Over the years to stay in college. But I had a great job. So I've had great jobs.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Tulsa, Georgia, Kentucky, Minnesota. I've been so blessed. Texas Tech, and now here in Memphis.
Mm-hmm.
So nobody's talked to you about that K word. You keep saying it. Kentucky.
We got a homer in here, Coach. Well, listen, we got one more quick question. One quick question, and this is it. We always, when you going through, you getting announced this is your last game ever. Every hero has theme music, Coach. What's your theme music on your last game as you walking out to center court?
You'd have to ask me something like that.
He always does. I try to stop him.
Know.
It's Go Tigers Go.
say about a finalization, a final song?
Man, it's you got to have theme music, Coach.
I think I have to be, Frank Sinatra.
Frank Sinatra, I did it my way.
I did it my way.
All right.
That was smooth. That was smooth. Coach, we appreciate you being with us here on R&R on Sports, and we are like a bad habit that you never get rid of. So know that we're going to come back and ask you to join us again at some point in the future. Would you do that?
Please do. I'd love to.
Thanks a lot.
You also provide a great service for our community, for the state, for everything. So keep it up.
I can't wait for Tiger basketball.
Thank you so much. And we'll be back with more R&R on Sports right after this.
It's been a long time. I shouldn't have left you without a strong rhyme to step to. Think of how many weeks shows you slept through. Time's up. I'm sorry I kept you thinking of this. You keep repeating your miss. The rhyme from the microphone solo with.
Hello, I'm Uncle Howard.
Jennifer Conroy.
I'm Larry, the fantastic Robinson.
Your host for R&R on Sports.
You better get with us or I'm going to come looking for you.
Every Saturday morning, 11 a.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Central on the SportsByline.com network, plus RNRonsports.com, Kazukian.com, iHeartRadio.com. Get our podcast, get after us. We look forward to having you.
R&R on Sports, part of the Kazukian Network.
Rolling down the street with my radio on, listen to Funky Politics.
The mayor of the city of Memphis, Mayor Jim Strickland. How are you, sir?
Fantastic. Thanks for having me.
Laid back with my mind on my money and my money on my mind.
Dr. Sharon Griffith. Hey, Doc, how are you?
Good afternoon.
What you say, Grandpa?
Did he call me Grandpa?
We keep it real, we keep it right, and we keep it funky.
Funky Politics, part of the Kazukian Network. R&R on Sports with ICONversation.
The Executive Director of the NBA Players Association, Ms. Michelle Roberts.
Thank you guys for having me. I appreciate it.
He is currently Managing Director and Chairman of USA Basketball, Mr. Jerry Colangelo, with us here on R&R on Sports.
Thank you guys. Nice to be with you.
The one, the only, Detlef Shrimp.
Hey, Howard and Larry, thanks so much for having me. I'm excited to be on the show.
Ken Griffey Jr., how are you today, sir?
I'm good. How about you guys?
Catch ICONversation on R&R on Sports, part of the Kazukian Network. It's R&R on Sports with Uncle Howard.
What do cornerbacks do? Cornerbacks talk about your mama, talk about your manhood and all that. You can't deal with that, then go sit down.
Jennifer Conroy.
Jenny.
JC.
Hi, baby. How you doing?
Good.
Everything good?
Yeah.
How was Hanukkah?
And Larry Robinson.
They're trying to have a real conversation.
They
finally blocking for him in Seattle.
Yeah.
And so he's not running for his life, and he's been able to stay in the pocket and hit his man downfield. I mean, I think
he did a swan dive with a half twist into something.
It's R&R on Sports.
Hello, I'm Uncle Howard.
Jennifer Conroy.
I'm Larry, the fantastic Robinson.
Your host for R&R on Sports.
You better get with us or I'm going to come looking for you.
Every Saturday morning, 11 a.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Central on the SportsByline.com network, plus RNRonsports.com, Kazukian.com, iHeartRadio.com. Get our podcast, get after us. We look forward to having you.
R&R on Sports, part of the Kazukian Network. Blues in the Basement, now podcasting and available on iTunes. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and IG, and download the Blues in the Basement app.
I mean, this music just makes for a good time. All I need is a beer and some babakoo.
And some babakoo.
I'm Stephanie.
I'm T-Shaw.
Blues in the Basement, in the Basement, in the Basement, in the Basement, in the Basement.
Now it's time for us
say goodbye.
To all our company.
Peace out.
That's right.
M-I-C-K-E-Y-M-O-U-S-E.
Shalom.
It is time to go, and our parting words, we must pay.
I'm just so happy that Michael Jordan has decided that he's a black man. I mean, just the fact that Michael Jordan has said, I am
a black man.
I am somebody.
Man. But we've got to pay. We're gonna have to
talk about the edges, though.
We got to pay respects and deference to the memory of John Saunders.
Absolutely.
Nice.
Hey, take it down, because John Saunders, man. I woke up every Sunday morning to John Saunders and the Sports Reporters, man. That is like my favorite show. And I was really disappointed when he wouldn't be on there. and now he's never going to be on there again.
Tremendous talent. Tremendous talent.
John, thank you for all the insight and amazing perspective that you provided.
What is gratifying is,
hey man, quit interrupting me, man. Don't interrupt the fantastic one, okay? You don't just cut in while I'm talking. You wait till I finish, then you start talking. Because I am the
amazing. It is gratifying to know.
Yeah. You're also the one behind glass.
To know how much he was in terms of a nurturer and a role model for the other people at ESPN.
Absolutely.
And they are just really messed up about his passing. But, tremendous guy, fabulous career, and he passed on wisdom to everyone around him. So, hey.
Rest in peace, John Saunders.
Yeah.
Rest in peace, my
Meanwhile, we urge you to subscribe. To do what? Subscribe and rate.
Absolutely. Subscribe and rate.
Our podcast. Like I said, tens and hundreds of thousands of you guys are doing it. We appreciate that. We need more. So please do that. And please get back with us. Join us. This time, next week, same time, same place. Don't leave us. We don't want to leave you. So we're going to be back with more R&R on Sports next week.
Holla.
Say goodbye.
We out.
Later.
R&R on Sports is recorded live at LPI Studios in the heart of Memphis, Tennessee. Web designer Daniel Coates, executive producer Larry Robinson, engineered by Daryl Evans, written by Howard Robertson, and produced by Reggie Fine. R&R on Sports, part of the Kudzukian Network.